It's Christmas week. Just last week, I was asked in the shops by Santa's little helper whether I wanted a job for a week, and I turned that down. I have no idea what they wanted me to do. But are you a Christmas elf or a Christmas Grinch? Because Christmas can be a divisive time. It can be a joyful time, but when you get family together, it's probably a bit like in the US when they have Thanksgiving at the moment, where it seems that around the table there can be discussions that lead to arguments. Some people are elf at Christmas, some people are Grinch at Christmas, because a lot's invested emotionally in Christmas that it's somehow got to be everything that the rest of the year wasn't in this modern world. And the Christmas season becomes something in which we pour all of these hopes and dreams. What do you think, Dave?
Loss, grief is highlighted at Christmas. There's the missing chair from the, table and so on. And it's a strange, it is a strange time in some ways, but I wonder if Christmas has anything to say to our grief. We're going to look at that.
So, David, elf or Grinch at Christmas, and why? What's your sweetest memory? What's your most grievous?
Look, I mean, if you can wear a daft hat, so can I. No, this is not a daft hat. This is a serious hat. Listen, I'm probably, it depends what time of day. I would want to be Grinch. I want to moan. It's so much easier. And yet, as I've grown older, I've got to appreciate Christmas more and more. I think my sweetest memory, to be honest, is just as a child coming downstairs in the farm cottage and seeing a train set being set up by my dad, which is also my most bitter memory because I thought it came from Santa. And when I discovered that Santa was my dad, I was pretty traumatized. And ever since then, I've been of the theological school that Santa and Satan are anagrams.
Yeah. So, hey, look, my son still thinks Santa is his dad. I can't see why. So that is a painful. Look, my most painful is probably after my parents split up, the Christmas after that. But I've had some sweet Christmases too with Christian brothers and sisters, which has been really good. I was going to play Wham song, but I thought I might put in another song that's a little less painful about Christmas. So I'm going to put
Thank you.
Out. Last Christmas, you gave me my heart. I thought we could put that on the shelf along with the elf. But we're going to play that now and have a listen. Look, Dave, Christmas is complex emotionally, but isn't that how the gospel stories start anyway? It's not like all tinsel and joy, is it?
No, I think there is a need for hope in a hopeless situation. I think the kind of Disney Christmas where everything starts off bad, and then, your parents get divorced and, your dog dies and everything else. And then by the end, your parents are remarried. You've got lots more brothers and sisters and your dog's been resurrected. I think that kind of thing, I can't stand Christmas movies like that. But neither is it all doom and gloom. And I think that Christmas is about bringing great joy into the world. Although at the time, and you know about this, there was also great darkness that came at the birth of Christ. There was a lot of bloodshed.
And Herod, and the story of Herod destroying and killing all the babies because he was trying to kill the Messiah king is part of that, isn't it? And the joy is mixed with grief. And that seems to be part of the thing about the Christmas story, that there's joy to the world, and then Mary's told that you'll have great joy, and Elizabeth and Zechariah, who are going to have a baby before that, are told they'll have great joy. But at the flip side, there's some things that are going to happen that are going to, as it says, pierce Mary's heart with a sword. Because Christmas is challenging the powers of the day, isn't it?
Well, I think it's challenging the powers of the day. And I think also, this time last year, we were in the midst of bushfires. you know. And I mean, I was literally looking out over a Sydney covered in smoke, and there was a kind of an apocalyptic end of the world thing. We think, oh well, next Christmas won't be so bad. And you know, I mean, Australia were kind of sheltered from this a bit, but many people in the world are having Christmas under the threat of COVID and being isolated and so on. And it does seem really dark. And people say, well, if only we could be together, everything will be all right. No, it wouldn't actually. But it's Christ. You know, if you take Christ out of Christmas, you just end up with nothing. And I think we do take Christ out of Christmas. I think he is the hope.
And in one sense, when we take him out of that, we have to sort of ditch it up a bit more to make it have look like it's got anything behind it or any meaning. So Christmas in the Bible is the promise of God being fulfilled in the midst of a very broken world that will continue to be broken.
Yeah. I mean, it's someone being born to die, which sounds horrible. I used to edit a magazine, and I think my favorite cover ever, and the designer was brilliant. I asked him to give me a Christmas cover that wasn't tinsely. So what he did was he did a crown of thorns made of Christmas tree lights. Yeah. Utterly brilliant. I think it's my favorite ever. And I just thought, yeah, that's it. It really is. This is the ultimate reality. This is the one born who comes to deal with death. And at Christmas, we're faced with death, most of us anyway, especially perhaps this year for many of us. Yeah. And yet Christmas is about the one who deals with death. Exactly.
Now, I'm going to finish with an oldie but a goodie. You mentioned the song last week, O Come, Emmanuel. And another oldie but a goodie. Here's a Facebook Christmas. It's from about 10 years ago, so you can notice the changes in Facebook as it goes through it, complete with the fact that there's not as much fake news. But I want us to go out with this, O Come, Emmanuel.
Yeah, before we go, maybe we should say that we're going to miss you for a couple of weeks, because we are going to take a couple of weeks off.
Well, I've got to get back to the North Pole, so...
You're going back to the North Pole, and I'm going to do the Scottish thing and really celebrate New Year, so you won't see me for a long time.
See you, Dave, and we'll go out with this great song.